Have you ever wondered why, even though you try so hard to lose weight, the results just don't appear or disappear too quickly? You start out motivated, follow a strict diet, work hard at the gym, but suddenly everything seems to go wrong. The scale doesn't move. Hunger increases and that feeling of frustration takes over. If this has ever happened to you, stay with me, because today I'm going to show you the 3 most common mistakes that make many people fail on their weight loss journey and how to avoid them. And look, it doesn't matter if you've already tried everything or if you're just starting out. Understanding these mistakes can be the turning point between remaining stuck in the cycle of frustration or finally achieving lasting results. So if you want to lose weight effectively, without falling into traps that make you give up, this video is for you. One of the biggest problems when we talk about weight loss is that people are bombarded with contradictory information. In a day, they say cutting carbs is the solution. On the other hand, they say you need to fast. Then comes that fad diet promising miracles, and next thing you know, you're jumping from method to method without knowing what really works for your body. This excess of information causes many people to make mistakes without even realizing it, and what's worse, believing that they are on the right path. And it is exactly. This is where the great danger of extremely restrictive diets lies. At first, you might be excited to see the number on the scale drop quickly, but what's really happening inside your body is chaos. When you drastically cut calories, the body goes into a state of alert and starts looking for ways to save energy. Metabolism slows down, fat burning becomes less efficient, and as if that weren't enough, the body may start breaking down muscle for energy. This means that instead of just losing fat, you are also sacrificing your muscle mass, and this is a huge problem for anyone who wants to lose weight in a healthy and sustainable way. Because here's the thing. Muscle mass not only gives you strength and definition, but it also plays a fundamental role in daily calorie expenditure. The more muscle you have, the more calories your body naturally burns, even at rest. However, when you adopt an overly restrictive diet, this muscle begins to be consumed as a source of energy, and this causes your metabolism to slow down even more. The result? Your body becomes less efficient at burning fat, and each meal starts to be stored more strategically. That is, more fat is accumulated in the long term. And here comes the biggest nightmare for anyone who has tried to lose weight this way: the accordion effect. You spend weeks or even months depriving yourself, suffering from hunger, bad mood, lack of energy, and when you finally can't take it anymore and go back to eating normally, the lost weight returns quickly. And most of the time, it even comes back with an increase because now your metabolism is slower and your body is storing more fat than before. In other words, all the effort you made ends up going down the drain, and the frustration, it only increases. So if you don't want to continue falling into this trap and want, once and for all, to learn how to lose weight in a sustainable way, without going hungry and without falling into the accordion effect, stay with me, because now we're going to talk about a mistake that could be sabotaging your results without you even realizing it. This is one of the most common mistakes, and when people find out, they finally understand why they weren't achieving their goals. So, take advantage and share this video with someone who needs to know this, because this information can prevent many people from remaining stuck in this frustrating cycle. Let's go, because what comes next could completely change the way you view weight loss. And it's not just that. Extreme food deprivation can trigger episodes of binge eating. Your brain interprets this restriction as a period of scarcity, and when you allow yourself to eat something different, it encourages you to overdo it because you don't know when you will receive food again. This explains why many people who go on extreme diets end up having episodes of being out of control, eating large amounts of food at once, and then feeling guilty. This cycle of restriction and binging not only affects your body, but also your relationship with food, generating a huge emotional impact. And then comes that feeling of failure. You feel like you don't have willpower, that you can't control yourself, that maybe the problem is with you. But the truth is that the problem is not with you. The problem is the wrong strategy. You don't need to go hungry, deprive yourself of everything you like, and live in this constant struggle with food to lose weight in a healthy and permanent way. The secret to avoiding all of this is adopting a moderate calorie deficit. And when I say moderate, I really mean something sustainable, that allows you to continue living your life without feeling like you're torturing yourself. Instead of drastically cutting calories, the ideal is to create a slight calorie deficit, where you consume a little less than you spend, but without giving up essential nutrients. This way, your body understands that it can continue functioning normally, without going into a state of alert, and you can lose weight in a consistent and balanced way. And this is where the importance of food quality comes in, because it's not just a question of quantity, but of providing your body with everything it needs to function well. Healthy and sustainable weight loss needs to include proteins to maintain muscle mass, quality carbohydrates to ensure energy, and good fats for hormonal balance. In other words, instead of just thinking about eating less, you need to think about eating better. Another essential point is to respect individuality. What works for one person may not work for another. Therefore, extremely standardized diets, which cut out entire food groups without considering each person's routine and preferences, are unlikely to bring lasting results. The ideal is to look for an eating plan that is adaptable, flexible, and can be maintained in the long term. And the good news is that when you find this balance, losing weight stops being a hardship and becomes a natural process. And now I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced this frustration of losing weight quickly and then gaining it all back? How was this experience? Leave it here in the comments because I read everything and I want to know how you deal with this situation. Meanwhile, we're moving on to the next mistake, which many people make without even realizing it, and which could be sabotaging your weight loss even when you think you're doing it. You're doing everything right. And now we come to one of the most insidious mistakes, one that many people don't even realize they are making, but which could be completely sabotaging your weight loss process. Has it ever happened to you that you dedicate yourself intensely to training, work up a sweat in the gym, exercise every day, but still don't see the results you expected? If so, it may be that the problem is not with your effort, but with the lack of balance between training and nutrition. Many people believe that to lose weight you just need to train hard, and then what happens? People spend hours at the gym, do exhausting workouts, invest in high-intensity exercises, but completely forget what they put on their plate. And the problem is that without a proper eating plan, all this effort could be in vain. This is because training is only one part of the equation. Without the right nutrients, the body cannot recover properly, and instead of accelerating the metabolism and promoting fat burning, you could end up having a completely opposite effect. And do you know what happens when the body feels like it is using more energy than it receives? It activates defense mechanisms. One of them is increased hunger. This happens because when you realize that you are demanding a lot during training, your body understands that it needs to replenish this energy in some way. And if your diet is not well adjusted, this increase in hunger can lead you to overcompensate with food without realizing it. You train, feel like you've spent a lot of calories, and without proper control, end up eating more than you need later. And this often happens unconsciously. That uncontrollable desire to eat sweets, the increased appetite at the end of the day, the feeling of tiredness and the need for more food, all of this could be a response from your body trying to balance what is missing. Another dangerous point is that without adequate nutrition, the metabolism can slow down. It seems contradictory, right? After all, if you're training more, you should be speeding up your metabolism. But the truth is that when the body perceives a very high energy expenditure without sufficient nutrient replacement, it activates a survival mechanism and starts saving energy. This means that calorie burning becomes less efficient. Energy levels drop, and in some cases, the body may even start to store fat as a reserve. In other words, you may be training hard, but instead of losing weight, you may be making the process even more difficult. And here comes a very common mistake: thinking that you can compensate for an intense workout by eating whatever you want. How many times have you heard someone say, "I trained so hard today that I deserve to eat this candy," or "I can eat more because I burned a lot of calories at the gym"? This type of thinking creates a dangerous cycle where training becomes a justification for overeating. And in the end, the calorie balance does not balance correctly for weight loss. The solution to this: the balance between training and nutrition. Neither can work alone. Training hard without adequate nutrition does not bring sustainable results. Just as taking care of your diet without good physical stimulation can slow down the process. The secret is to provide the body with the necessary nutrients so that it recovers well from training, keeps the metabolism active, and uses fat as an energy source efficiently. This means you need to ensure you get adequate protein intake to maintain muscle mass, quality carbohydrates to provide enough energy, and healthy fats to balance hormones. Without it, you could be sabotaging all your efforts without realizing it. And it's not about cutting out food or living on extremely restrictive diets. The idea is to create an eating plan that supports your training routine and allows you to have enough energy to maintain consistency without falling into the trap of overeating due to extreme hunger. Now tell me, have you ever felt like you were trying hard in training, but without seeing the results on the scale or in the mirror? Have you ever had the experience of training hard and still feeling like you were gaining weight or getting more tired? I want to know your experience, so leave it here in the comments because this is a very common mistake and it could be happening to many more people than you realize. And now to finish, let's talk about what really makes the difference in transforming weight loss into a definitive and sustainable process. Stay with me, because this part is essential. Now you know the 3 mistakes that could be hindering your weight loss process. Many times we try hard, follow what seems to be the right path, but without realizing it, we end up falling into these traps that make everything more difficult, extremely restrictive diets that mess up the metabolism and lead to an accordion effect, the obsession with the scale that demotivates even when there is real progress, and the mistake of training hard without balancing your diet, which can generate fatigue, excessive hunger, and even slow down results. And the most important thing of all is to understand that losing weight doesn't have to be a struggle. The secret is in a sustainable, balanced process adapted to your lifestyle. There is no magic formula, but rather strategies that really work in the long term. Learning to eat well without overdoing it, measuring your progress intelligently, and understanding that training needs to be aligned with your nutrition are the keys to achieving the results you so desire. So, if this content helped you, like this video, share it with someone who needs to know this and tell me here in the comments, which of these mistakes have you made? Have you ever tried any restrictive diets? Have you ever been frustrated with the scale? Or did you feel like you were training hard but not seeing results? I want to know your experience because a lot of people go through this, and together we can learn more and more about how to make this process more effective and healthy. Thank you for following along, and see you in the next video.